Hello and welcome inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Jessica Moss. We have important information for you on a levy that voters will decide upon soon. Plus, another school is now open in Vancouver. Our team has these stories and a whole lot more, but first, let's take a look at our top 3. These are our favorite images from social media. Number 3 comes from Hazeldale Elementary. Students in Ms. Assel's 5th grade class visited colonial America, learning about grammar, dressing like colonists, and more. This was part of a classroom unit on the 13 colonies. Number 2 comes from the new VPS Maker Mobile, a retrofitted bus that will bring hands-on lessons to students all over Vancouver. The district's IT team runs the bus, which is nearly ready to start rolling out to schools. Maker Mobile will feature technology-focused lessons for students at different grade levels. Keep your eyes peeled this winter and spring for when the Maker Bus comes to your school. Our number 1 was posted by Demetric White. Student athletes from Hudson's Bay High School recently visited Washington Elementary, bringing basketball lessons to students. Football and basketball players ran drills and lessons for younger kids and embodied the Bay Way, a school-wide philosophy for behavior. Great job to those high schoolers for mentoring younger students. We begin our show now with some important information that will affect every school in the district. Vancouver Public Schools is asking taxpayers to approve a supplemental levy to maintain the same level of service students are currently receiving. Here now to explain it all are Tara Cox and Amanda Richter.
Thanks. The February election will have a big impact on our schools, and a lot of people have questions about the supplemental levy.
There's a lot of information to go through, so let's dig into it. Last year, voters said yes to a levy that costs owners $1.50 per $1,000 of assessed value of their property. That was the most allowed by the state legislature, which has since changed its mind. Because the state's budget doesn't provide enough money for the district to maintain services as they stand now, many districts around the state are coming up short financially. Instead of providing more money, the state increased the amount of money districts can raise locally, but that came too late for VPS. So now, the district is asking for more to cover an estimated $10 million shortfall, but it's still well below what the state now says is okay.
Here are the numbers. In addition to the $1.50 you're currently paying, the supplemental levy would cost 43 cents more per $1,000 of estimated property value in the first year. As an example, if your property is worth $350,000, you'd pay about an extra $150 per year, including all current local and state taxes for the education and the supplemental levy. Taxpayers would actually spend the same amount they were already spending back in 2017, before the state changed the school funding formula. So where does all the money go, and what would happen if the levy fails?
The levy pays for things that families expect, like safety officers, nurses, school counselors, and smaller class sizes. Eliminating $10 million from the budget would mean significant cuts to all of those, which would directly affect students in the classroom.
The district faced the same dilemma for this school year, but was able to budget its way past with a one-time allotment from the state, a dip into its reserve funds, and cuts to the central office. None of those options are available this time around. You can learn much more about the levy at the district website, vansd.org/levy. You can also ask questions directly. There's a link on the website and a phone number you can call.
The election is set for February 11th. Back to you.
Let's go now to a Revitalizing Vancouver update, the latest on school construction projects paid for with your tax dollars. After years of dreaming, planning, and building, the new Vancouver iTech Preparatory now has a permanent home. For years, iTech had a split campus with middle schoolers in one building and high schoolers in another miles away. On the first day back from winter break, all of that changed. Students arrived for their first day of classes at the new Vancouver iTech Preparatory, greeted with cheers from student leaders. For most of them, it's their first look at their school's new home.
Very excited. Yeah, it's cool to explore new buildings.
I think it'll be a good environment. I think it'll be just a fun time for all.
The building, located on the edge of the WSU Vancouver campus, brings together middle and high school students. The first time they've been together in the school's history.
I think having all the teachers in one place will lead to some interesting collaboration. And I also think like this 6th graders and 7th graders specifically will have like good influences because they have like actual upperclassmen who know what they're doing at the school.
The new facility is state-of-the-art, perfect for a school that focuses on science, math, engineering, and technology.
We're a tech school, so I think the tech parts are going to be, like I was looking through some of the science labs and they definitely look really fun to use.
I really like the classrooms. The classrooms are like a new kind of feel and they're really awesome.
We won't have to set up a robotics floor every class period. We can leave stuff up.
This space is cool. You have the staircase and the giant jumbotron. It's awesome.
Students and staff know that it took more than hopes and dreams to make this building a reality. It took taxpayers who were willing to support local schools by passing a bond measure.
Thank you. This is such an awesome building and such a great opportunity. I'm really glad that they passed it because this is awesome.
After the bell rang, students found their way up the stairs and to their new classrooms. This is home.
We made borrowed buildings into our school, so we get to make a school into a school, you know? It's going to be really fun.
There's still a lot of work to be done on the construction project, and crews will remain on site for a couple of months to wrap things up. Before iTech opened, when things were a little less polished, Superintendent Steve Webb got behind-the-scenes tour of the school construction site. Before winter break, iTech principal Darby Mead gave him a look at the school's progress. There was a hard deadline to open, so crews worked around the clock to get the building ready for students to arrive. The principal and superintendent talked about the new spaces and how students and teachers would use them.
Us coming together and working together and solving problems is what we do, and the building is created in that way. There's a center area with collaboration spaces, with fabrication labs where people can come together and work and create and innovate.
Like the school's curriculum, the building is modern but versatile with an eye on the future.
When I see the building and the opportunity that it presents, not just today, but for decades of children in the future, it's a source of pride and a source of collective achievement for this community.
iTech is located on the edge of the WSU Vancouver campus, and the community will have a chance to get its first look at the school later this year at a dedication and open house. There are lots of other projects happening around the district. Here's an aerial look at Walnut Grove Elementary, which just broke ground in November. Crews are already creating the footprint of where the school will be located right next to the current building. And over at Truman Elementary, they're much further along. It is scheduled to open next fall. And as you can see, the progress there is encouraging. You can see how the school is taking shape. And like iTech Prep and the new Ogden Elementary, Truman will feature a grand staircase for student and family presentations, reading, and a lot more. Marshall Elementary is also nearing completion. This aerial photo shows how close it's looking to a finished building. Marshall and the new McLaughlin Middle School are conjoined with shared spaces to reduce operational costs. It's not just new buildings, though. Every school will get some sort of improvement. At Philida Elementary, that means new classrooms to keep up with an expanding school population. These new spaces are similar to ones going up at Fruit Valley, Eisenhower, and other elementaries across Vancouver. One of the initial projects identified in the bond was a new elementary school on Northeast 25th Avenue. Now the district is deciding whether or not that elementary is needed, and you have a chance to weigh in. The district is holding a series of open houses at schools whose boundaries would be affected by a new school. Here are the dates and times and locations. The district believes that declining enrollment and rising construction and operational costs make the new school unnecessary. But before it makes a final decision, it wants to hear from the community. If your child attends one of the possible affected schools but missed one of the first meetings, you're encouraged to attend a later meeting at a different school. You can find the dates on the district website, and that's also a great place to keep tabs on all construction-related news. vansd.org/reschools is the place to go. You can also check the schedule to see what is happening at your neighborhood school. We still have 6 months of school to go this year, but it's already time to start thinking about next year. The district's magnet programs are looking to sign up students. Science and technology to medical arts, cooking, welding, agriculture, and many more are programs that are available for students. There are a number of open houses coming up in January and February, so families can get an idea of what's out there. The application period also begins now, so time is of the essence. To learn more, head to vansd.org/choices. iTech Prep is one of those magnet programs, and before the winter break began, its students gave back. They volunteered at the Clark County Food Bank. Students spent the morning on the Friday before loading food boxes for families. We saw them competing with each other to see who could pack the most boxes. This is an annual tradition for iTech, and it's an opportunity to give back that the students we spoke to cherish.
It's good now to get back to our community, to show that we are all here together and that we kind of support each other in like what we're doing, and it's nice to show, especially at a time like this, that we all care for each other.
It's definitely going to make a huge difference because I feel like on any holiday, someone should be able to sit down and have a really nice meal.
The food bank told us that the student turnout on this event is so large they don't have other volunteers coming in on the same day. Great job to the Ravens of Tech Prep. Another accomplished magnet program is Vancouver School of Arts and Academics. A group of students in the school's film classes earned a national honor for their work. Nathan Keldson, Timo Isreb, Eli Gomez, and Cassie Akismiu Arnold competed in the National Film Festival for Talented Youth. They had just one weekend to write, shoot, and film a movie using the prompt Generation Now. Their movie, entitled Dreamcast, took third place. Congrats to the team and their teacher, Andy Burhow. It's time now for a snapshot profile, a look at the people who make Vancouver Public Schools an outstanding place to learn and teach. And we're sticking with our magnet program theme for this one. An alumnus of the Fort Vancouver Culinary Arts program is using his degree to make a splash in the coffee business and in his community. Elena Buller joins us now with more. Elena?
Students at the Culinary Arts program at Fort Vancouver are always cooking up something in class, and recently they got a lesson in coffee roasting with a side of compassion, served up by a former student.
He was one of those students that you remember fondly.
Jeffrey Sherman is back in his element in the kitchen at Fort Vancouver, a place he says helped him find himself.
Before I started Fort, I didn't think I wanted to go to college, and after going to Fort and doing all this, I was like, I want to go to college. I want to be in culinary school. I want to gain these skills.
Jeffrey and his family own and operate a coffee roasting company called Happy Cup. He wanted to come back to the program that he says helped make it possible.
I didn't want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I wanted to work in the romantic world of food. And so this was just straight to my heart. This is where I wanted to be every day.
Not just a sweet sentiment, but the whole point of the program, says Rebecca Angel, the culinary arts instructor and Sherman's former teacher.
We're really happy for what he's done with his career, and that it's brought him back to us and has the opportunity to mentor our students. I'm over the moon.
It was a bean roasting boot camp for the kids.
We did coffee cupping. It's basically like coffee tasting.
Most people think that a dark roast has the most caffeinated, but it's actually sometimes a light roast.
And sure, the students learned a lot about coffee.
But first we smell the grounds.
Smelling and sampling, tasting and testing.
And then you get that aroma.
They also got a few life lessons.
It's just really nice to give opportunities to people.
Sherman and his company, Happy Cup, have turned a hot cup of joe into a mission, giving developmentally disabled adults meaningful jobs.
All people deserve to live happy, productive lives, and all people deserve to be included in the planning process of creating jobs.
A little known fact, adults with disabilities face an 80% unemployment rate.
A lot of companies will say they hire adults with developmental disabilities, but they just shove a broom at their face and they're like, go sweep in the back.
Something Happy Cup is hoping to change.
So at Happy Cup we have special boards that help them place the stickers, do the stamping.
The day also got the students thinking about their own futures and what they want to get out of this program.
So it opened my eyes, let me know this is a real program and these are real skills in life. And seeing an alumni and take those skills and put it out there, owning his own business, lets me know I can do the same with my skills.
I want to go for it in college, and I want to open up my own cafe.
The Fort Vancouver Culinary Arts program coming full circle again, serving up so much more than food. Jeffrey says he'd love to come back and teach anytime, and if you're a business that would like to hire the developmentally disabled, come into Happy Cup. Jeffrey says he'd be happy to show you what it looks like. Back to you.
Thanks, Elena. Behavior is an important part of a child's growth, and how schools teach behavior is changing. Joining us now to show one school's innovative approach is Nick Voll. Nick?
Thanks. At Eisenhower Elementary, they were looking for ways to motivate students to be on their best behavior, and they found what they were looking for on social media.
Drum roll, Miss Woods.
It's an exciting morning at Eisenhower Elementary School. Over the PA system, for the very first time, students are learning whether they've been selected for a special honor.
I thought that I had a chance, but the total surprise was I was the first to be called.
Tyler J. Come on up to the office, my friend.
In the front lobby of the school is a brand new vending machine. Inside, you won't find candy or soda. These winners put a token in the machine and pick their very own book.
I love books and I like to read them, so that's why I was so excited to get the award to get this book.
They weren't selected at random, but rather were rewarded for demonstrating positive behavior. Cayman saw a classmate with a problem and decided to help.
When we were in the cafeteria for lunch yesterday, I tied his shoe because he needed help, so I heard him say, "Can someone tie my shoe?" And then I did it for him because I wanted to be helpful.
The vending machine is part of the school's emphasis on positive behavior.
High five.
Behavior is learned, and if inappropriate behavior is learned, then appropriate behavior can be learned. Motivation for doing that is what we're looking at with this machine.
I'm trying to do my best because sometimes I get out of control, so I am glad that people see the way that I try to be good.
As far as they can tell, this is the first book vending machine on the West Coast, an idea sent to school librarian Melissa Woods on social media.
And said, how cool would this be? And I was like, yeah, pipe dream, because they're expensive.
But the Foundation for Vancouver Public Schools and the Eisenhower PTA pitched in to buy the machine, which gives kids a longer-lasting reward than a piece of candy or small toy.
For me, as a librarian, it's just super cool to see kids get excited about books.
These are forever books.
If you want, you can bring it home, and it's really fun to bring stuff home when you earn something. Yay! I even have a necklace that says Reading Rocks.
Eisenhower thinks they have enough books to last for now, but they are seeking donations for the long term. If you think that you can help, go ahead and contact the front desk. Back to you.
Thanks, Nick. Now let's take a look at the big picture, our favorite image from social media. This one comes from teacher John Zingale of Vancouver iTech Prep, taken on the first day of school at the new building. Mr. Z, as the kids call him, uses 360-degree cameras as part of his curriculum, and this photo was taken with one of those. Students use them to create virtual reality experiences, including at the Fort Vancouver National Historic Site. What a great shot, Mr. Z. And let's take a look now at what's happening across Vancouver Public Schools. Remember that there's no school on January 20th. It's a federal holiday in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As always, hundreds of students and faculty from across the district will be celebrating the day by volunteering in the community. And we're just about out of time. For Tara Cox, Amanda Richter, Elena Buller, and Nick Voll, thanks for watching Inside Vancouver Public Schools. I'm Jessica Moss.